following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 at Hallmark, trying to go 3 wide, no one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14, it's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win. Hello and welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV here tonight at the Dover International Speedway once again. Tonight with the Hardline Racing League, their Contender series. Here tonight, I believe this is the second race of the playoffs. Joining me in the booth tonight, as always, is Evan Black, Corey Silva. I'm Brandon Krutz. Corey Silva doubling as our tech producer every night. So, guys, second race of the playoffs. How's everybody feeling tonight?
Feeling good, ready for another race at Dover. If you caught us last night, you would have saw that we brought you the ASRS Cup Series at the Dover Speedway for the Monster Mile, and we had a pretty interesting race there, and I expect nothing else than a great race from the Hardline guys tonight. Evan?
Yeah, a few drivers less tonight than there were last night, so hopefully it should be a little bit cleaner race.
Yeah, about 20 or so drivers on the grid tonight. Not quite the full field we had last night, but still a great field nonetheless. So these drivers are qualifying at the moment. And as Brandon said in the open, we are in the second race of the round of 12. The chasers will be denoted by the orange and black numbers up on the ticker, so you can keep track of them with that. And right now, looks like Ryan Hartz is on the provisional pole.
Yeah, Cole Bagunia just now going into second, but Hartz has that pole by about a 1/10 of a second. Oh, and Bravo Pratt to the top of the charts. Really good lap for him.
Yeah, by a couple hundredths there over Hartz. So, as you said, a pretty good lap. Let's see who else is on the track right now. Looks like Rusty Capel on track, but he is not having a good time with that lap. Let's see what Walker Thomas can do.
Time to beat right now is a 23.990, set by Briar LaPrade. Walker Thomas, see if he's got anything.
Up to 4th. Pretty good lap for Thomas. We have who do we have? We have Robert Kenny on the track right now, and while we watch the 10 machine, I believe my colleagues have the points after the first race of the chase playoffs.
Yeah, it's the playoffs, Corey. So right after Watkins' win, which was last week, Thomas Bresci is leading the points by 11 points over Tyler Hensley, and then Jacob Adams, Bravo Pratt, Casey Shue, and Joshua Adams is the top 6.
Right now, it's a tie for the 7th position between Rusty Capel and Walker Thomas. Patrick McLaurin back there in 9th, 10th is Cole Bagunia, 11th Tanner Allen, and rounding out the playoff field is Cody Griffin.
Now, Cole Bagunia, not one you'd expect to hear at the bottom of the standings, but with the opening at a road course, there was a little bit of, let's say, animosity and lack of positivity with that track selection, but I think now that we're at a traditional oval, you will see the normal guys, the cream rise to the top, and I think Paguni's going to be one of those drivers.
Yeah, the road course was definitely shaking things up for sure, especially with it being in the first round of the playoffs. But yeah, back to the normal racing here tonight, here at the Dover International Speedway. So should be some familiar names up front already: Briar LaPrade, Jacob Adams, Ryan Hartz, Joshua Adams, and Tanner Allen up there in the top 5 so far in qualifying.
This is a small note, and it's just something we did it last night too, and we're doing it again tonight. It is just Dover Speedway. It is not Dover International, but
it is Dover International Speedway.
Is it really? They changed it?
No, it's never been changed. It's always been Dover International Speedway.
Cue the Wikipedia.
Okay. I'll look that up right now for you.
Okay, it is Dover International Speedway.
Yeah,
yep,
see?
I just looked it up. It is Dover International.
But the caveat is it's doverspeedway.com, so that is a little confusing.
Their logo says Dover International Speedway too.
Their logo says Dover.
International Speedway, small letters under it.
Contact Dover Speedway and have them change their website domain, 'cause that is confusing.
Why? Why does this always turn into this banter?
Because that's what we're known for here on the old PT. Known for. Anywho, looks like there is nobody on track, and it looks as though qualifying is just about to wrap up, so we will bring you in a matter of moments the PTR TV starting lineup here for round 2 of the playoffs, round of 12 for the Hardline Contender Series. On tonight's poll, with his lap time of 23.990, is Briar LaPrade in the 14. We offer him our congratulations for that lap. Jacob Adams to the outside in position number 2. Then we have Ryan Hartz and Joshua Adams 3rd and 4th. Tanner Allen and Walker Thomas occupy the 3rd row. And then we have Cole Begunia and Nick Massey in the 4th row. And rounding out the top 10, Matthew Bell and Patrick McLaurin.
And Baron Labasco starting in 11th, Rusty Capel in 12th, Ronald Head in 13th, Robert Kinney in 14th, Zach Collision in 15th, and then Shane Tarrant, Jonathan Wall, Casey Shue, Thomas Bressie, Kyle Zimmer, Tyler Hensley, and Cody Tabor round out the field in 22nd.
That is your PTR TV starting lineup here with the Hardline Racing League Contender Series, the second round of the playoffs here at the Dover International Speedway. And we're ready to kick things off.
That we are. It'll be 140 laps of racing here tonight at Dover. We'll check the weather conditions. Nothing out of the ordinary. 78 in the air, 104 on the track, negligible 2-mile-an-hour wind. Dover International Speedway, and make sure I get that international in there. 1-mile concrete track, 24 degrees of banking in the turns, and there is 9 degrees on the straightaway, almost more banking on the straightaway than some tracks actually have in the turn. So it really kind of makes this a fast track, and as we saw last night, if there is a wreck, the whole track can be blocked. There'll be one pace lap around this speedway once the pace car does pull off, and we exit the gridding timer right now. We've seen Briar LaPrade in the 14 be up front in a lot of races. He has won a few, so let's see what that DC solar machine is capable of doing. But he's going to have some pretty stiff competition here tonight. And there we pull onto the racetrack. This race will be underway in a matter of moments. I want to thank everyone for tuning into PTR TV tonight for tonight's action. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. A lot of good content coming to PTR TV. We'd love to have you with us for the ride, especially our NASCAR night in a couple weeks. So we'll give you more details on that when we have a little more time. But this race will be underway as we're half a lap from the green flag.
Now these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing. Quick side note, the stage is going to end on lap 50. 50 coming to take lap 50, going to 51 will be the stage end. Again, this league does not have any cautions for the stage end. So these guys ready to go. Green flag racing here. Pace car is off. The 14 is on the throttle. Wheel spin from the 8. We're underway, but a big stack up behind them.
Yeah, the number 8 machine on Jacob Adams on that outside lane just got completely sideways there. That'll take him all the way back to, I believe, the latter half of the top 10.
Yeah, he's dropped way back so far. Looks like back to 9th. So Brian LaPrade got a really good start, and that allowed Ryan Hartz to get into 2nd.
Wow, yeah, Adams losing a lot of positions there so far, but right now the 14, Brian LaPrade, the chase driver here tonight, he's out in front of this thing, but not too far behind him. This is 0-3 of Ryan Hartz.
We'll go back to the 6th position right now. That's where the money is being battled for right now. The 12 of Walker Thomas to the inside of Cole Begunia. Remember, Begunia is deep in the points after his finish at Watkins Glen, so he needs a good run. He does not need to be losing spots, but he may be getting freight trained on that outside groove.
Looks like the outside lane is working pretty well for Begunia right now. He's been able to clear Walker Thomas, and now Matthew Bell's trying to get around Thomas.
The 95, Matthew Bell ran onto the back bumper of Walker Thomas right now. Looks like Cole Begunia has his eyes set up in front of him right now. Most of these guys single file racing.
Yeah, everyone has kind of spaced out just a little bit. We do have Baron Labosco in the 54 under fire from, that is Shane Tarrant in 38. Tarrant, I believe, took that position away. That is 11th on the track right now. Then a little ways further back from that, as we go to the latter half of the field, that was a pass by Robert Kenny. Actually, rather, Kyle Zimmer. There we go. Get it right, Corey. Kyle Zimmer got by Robert Kenny there.
You'll get there eventually.
But to the front, guys, the 0-3 of Ryan Hartz is taking some of that gap out. It was a half second on the first couple laps, but he's only about a couple car lengths back right now.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz trying to close into the back bumper of Brian LaPrade right now. 14 so far in the lead, 0-3 right behind him.
See, already washing up the track is LaPrade. In our race last night, we saw the bottom prevailing for the first probably 2/3. Then we saw the outside play some defense, but these drivers are already washing up there quite early in the race.
Yeah, starting to dive into the corners a little bit, it looks like, guys. And, you know, that's a really good line to run here at Dover, especially when the track starts to get worn in. Ryan LaPrade drifts up quite a bit that time by. Ryan Hart's going to be right on his back bumper at turn number 2.
Yeah, but into turn 3, Hart's all over the back bumper of LaPrade. Looks like they're pretty even right now, but Hart's has a slight edge as LaPrade gets really loose out of 4. Hart's looking to the inside down the front straightaway.
14 to the outside, Hart's to the inside. How hard is that battle going to be fought for? You can see the 14 kind of washes up, but he's going to pinch the 0-3 down on corner exit, and they're going to remain side by side.
Side by side for the lead, heading down into turn number 3, 0-3 on the inside, 14 on the outside right now. Brian LaPrade doing a pretty good job holding his own on the outside there, gets a shot of momentum from the outside lane. Hart still trying to take the lead.
Really high up the track is the 14. I think that's going to be the dagger for him, but I'm going to be incorrect. He got a heck of a run. Hartz couldn't get off the 2 at all that time, and LaPrade's going to hold on and clear for the lead again.
Brian LaPrade took a shot of momentum to the outside that last corner, that last time, and he'll hold on and lead. Ryan Hart's not going to give up quite yet. He's still right on the back bumper.
Seems like it's being really hard to pass for these drivers on the inside lane. As it looks like most of the field is single file now.
Walker Thomas is still trying to work on the 7 of Cole Begunia here. This is for the 5th position. It's about the same kind of distance between those two drivers as we saw up front. I think Walker Thomas is a little bit better at this point, but it is pretty difficult to pass here at Dover. You can see Begunia really washing up the track, and Thomas is trying to run the bottom of the racetrack right on that bottom line, and it's just not allowing him to hold that momentum through corner exit.
Cole Begunia in the 7 machine. He is another playoff driver, as we mentioned before. Walker Thomas
Jacob.
behind
Oh, sorry to cut you off, Brandon, but Jacob Adams, remember that horrible start he got? He took a look under Matthew Bell in the 95 in that Patriots machine. Go Patriots. And nothing going that time by down the back straightaway.
Nice little plug there, Corey.
New England, I had to do it, bro.
So Adams trying to make up some of the ground that he lost earlier in this race. Matthew Bell drifts way up, almost contact between those two drivers there off of turn number 2. Adams trying to look underneath. Bell not having any of it. He's trying to defend.
Well, we have a battle up front right now. Here comes Ryan Hartz again to the inside off of turn number 4. LaPrade is still making that outside work, keeping that momentum up, and he holds off yet another challenge.
Briar LaPrade found something there on the outside, at least to defend that position. He drifts up a little bit, you know, and Ryan Hartz is going to try to jump in that opportunity to the inside, but it hasn't worked for him yet.
Hartz is definitely faster, but it's just so hard to pass on the bottom. It's going to be really hard to get to LaPrade's outside.
I just go on board here with Hartz just for a minute and watch him run the line. He is all the way to the bottom, and you could see LaPrade up in almost the 3rd lane there, but look at the run he got down the back straightaway.
Got a battle for 3rd between Tanner Allen and Joshua Adams. And Cole Begunia right behind them.
Yeah, Josh Adams clears to the inside, trying to take Begunia with him. And that's not going to happen, as Allen will be able to maintain the position, but Begunia is still there going for the fight.
Ducking underneath the 31 machine now. That's Tanner Allen to the outside. Maybe Allen can find something on the outside to defend the position. He gets almost up to the wall. Now Walker Thomas right to the back bumper.
I think Allen kind of burnt his tires up, staying up there in the front. As now he's starting to jump to the back as Walker Thomas is looking to his inside now.
Side by side down the back straightaway. Now heading down into turn number 3. And Allen drifts up just a little bit more. Thomas down underneath him.
Tanner Allen getting really tight out of 4, had to get out of the throttle. That's going to give Walker Thomas a huge run down the front stretch and into turn 1. He will clear.
Now Bell, and now almost contact between Bell and Adams again. They were almost 3 wide heading down into turn number 1.
Off of turn number 2 into the wall is Tanner Allen that washes the 95 down the track in reaction. They're all going to clear through that, but this is pretty intense racing on lap number 18, and here comes Jacob Adams looking to the outside of Bell off of 4.
Adams, a little bit of momentum to the outside, not going to happen that time by, but looks like he's going to try to maybe fall between, or behind Bell rather, maybe see what he can do from there.
Thought we had a battle for the lead going up, but the Hartz lost all that run he had. He was side by side, but we go back to the battle we were following with Bell and Allen. Bell clears the 31 to the inside. Now Jacob Adams is going to yet again try to fill that gap in, and he has. He's side by side with the 31 and turn number 1.
Starting in deep into 1. It looks like he is clear now as
Massey.
Massey getting under 31 of Allen.
And Patrick McClure, he's a playoff driver. He's going to go to the outside of Massey here, try to take advantage of the situation. And Shane Tarrant lurking behind all this.
4 cars are under a blanket right now. They were almost looked like they were going to push it 3 wide down the front straightaway. Not going to take that chance, especially this early in the race. But now here comes the 38 machine of Tarrant. Slingshot to the inside.
Yeah, Tarrant by McClure, and now he's going to set his sights on the number 48 of Nick Massey, who is still trying to get by Jacob Adams, who are, all of them are trying to get by 95 of Bell.
Tarrant underneath the 31 machine of Allen now. He's going to easily clear. Tanner Allen dropping back like a rock right now.
But he's still managing to hold off McClure, and at least for the time being. You can see him running that higher groove, but one thing I do want to continue focusing on some of the other battles we have right now. The 7 of Begunia just kind of rolled over, played dead, let the 12 of Thomas by, so move Thomas to the 4th position. But the battle for the lead, I tell you, Hartz hasn't had another serious run, but he has not dropped off the bumper by an inch.
Hartz and LaPrade both showing some serious speed in those race cars tonight. I think if everything plays out the way it is now, it could come down to those two drivers at the end.
Look how high LaPrade is already running now. He is completely out of the black, testing that new territory of the racetrack. And I guess it's still working for him.
Briar LaPrade. Go ahead, Evan.
Jonathan Wall has gone behind the wall. He is done for the night.
Jonathan has gone behind the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan
Wall has gone behind the wall.
Is that the first time? I think the first time we've ever done that pun. It seems so obvious.
Yeah. No, did he even start tonight, guys? I don't think he did.
Yeah, he's registering as 2 laps down, so he did take some laps, but that'll leave 20 cars remaining on the track as Hartz takes yet another look to the inside.
Ryan Hartz to the inside of the 14 of LaPrade, now heading down the back straightaway. They're going to be side by side at turn number 3. That settles out now. 0-3 tucks behind the 14.
And one thing I'm noticing that Hartz is doing, as far as LaPrade is washing up the track, Hartz is not running the bottom. He's running as high as he can, but still giving the 14 room.
Now a big move to the inside of the racetrack from Hartz. That time by, going to try to clear. He does clear the crossover from LaPrade down the back straightaway.
That was the money lap right there. As the 14, he's been running the high line, but he was running too high right there. That allowed Hartz to finally clear. Let's see if he can pull away.
I think he will, as he was quite a bit quicker than LaPrade. He just couldn't get around him for so many laps. So now it looks like Tanner Allen is coming out of pit road.
Speaking of pit road, guys, what do we expect for fuel tonight?
With the 54%
fuel limit.
I'm gonna go with about 65 laps, maybe 50 to 60 laps on fuel, but big wiggle from Hartz there off of 4.
Allen is powered away from Begonia with those fresh tires. He was even with them in the center of the corner and had 10 car lengths by the front stretch.
So yeah, that's another thing. Tires could play a factor whether these guys pit early or not.
Already about almost 2 seconds of fall off since the beginning laps of the race. So that's less. It's only 30 laps around the racetrack, as there is a battle between the 95 of Bell and the 48 of Nick Massey off of turn 4. Massey will clear it, but that'll give Shane Tarrant a shot at the 95.
Brian Hartz is already out to a half-second lead. So he is pulling away.
And here comes Massey underneath Begonia. Begonia almost into the fence off of 4. He does keep it off, but he's going to lose the spot to the 48. Move the 48 of Massey into position number 5.
Now here comes Matthew Bell to the inside. Look at Shane Tarrant. Shane Tarrant right there as well, ready to strike.
Yeah, kind of a further in the pack than we're used to seeing Tarrant. But
he started back in 16th. He did not qualify.
But as hard as it is to pass and as competitive as everybody is, he's just not being able to work through the pack maybe as fast as we would originally thought as the 95 gets by Begonia. Begonia goes back 2 spots there off turn number 2.
That is not what he needs for how far back he is in points right now.
And unlike the real Monster Energy Cup and Xfinity and Top 3 Series, win in your in is not the game here in the Hardline Racing League. So you will not, if he is to get lucky perhaps next week as the 38 takes a look underneath the 95, if he, let's say, gets lucky next week and wins at Charlotte, that's not going to be a free pass. He needs to get these points.
Shane Tarrant gaining another position off of Matthew Bell that time by. I'll tell you what, that's a sharp pace scheme on that car this week.
Which one are we referring to?
Shane Tarrant.
Shane Tarrant, yes. Nationwide insurance there on that car. That is I like the colors on that myself, so kudos to the artist behind that one. But I want to go.
Collision up into the wall. That was right in front of some of the leaders. He did a nice job to keep it out of their way.
Yeah, you can see the right front damage that Ford Mustang has inherited, especially to the entire right front. I wonder if the toe is knocked out at all on that machine.
He was just trying to stay out of their way and made a collision with the wall.
We'll avoid that obvious pun. But I want to go back to the earlier point about pit stops, guys. We were talking about what we expect for fuel mileage, but we need to talk about the Dover pit lane. Under green flag conditions, as Cole Begunia
coming out pit road.
But yeah, so pit stops will be happening sooner than we thought, but I'll quickly say this point. This is a probably the most difficult pit lane to enter under green flag conditions as there is on the NASCAR schedule.
Yeah, because you either have to start slowing down on the back straightaway or in the corner, which if you're doing it in the corner, there's going to be a lot of people behind you most likely. It's just a really, really hard to hit road
and if you slow down on the back straightaway, you're losing too much time, but turning left in the middle of the turn like that at a reasonable speed is near impossible, so you really have to pick your compromise.
And it's really hard to see the pit road entrance until you're right there, and you don't really have time to slow down.
So there may be some pit stop differential here, maybe some drivers hitting different times, gaining and losing some positions due to pit stops, as here comes
Bill on pit road.
Yep, so this is lap number 38, as we're already seeing a good portion of the field. I'd say about a third of the field has already pitted. And
would it be worth for Hartz to come down pit road as early as some of these guys are?
Where this race kind of has that long green flag vibe to it, I don't really know, guys. Is he thinking about the long-term strategy, maybe minimizing a pit stop, or is he just maybe trying to trap people under a yellow flag? I don't know.
Here we'll see the speed difference as Begunia is coming up on Hartz here through 3 and 4.
We could tell you that Hartz, his best lap is a 24.1. His last time by, a 26 flat, so he's nearly 2 seconds off his best lap in 40 laps.
Yeah, that's a big difference for 40 laps.
So 10 laps, and that if running 2 seconds a lap faster, 10 laps, you just almost lapped somebody.
And Hartz is on pit road.
You can see he entered the pits off turn number 3, taking no chances.
Matthew Bell got hard in the wall in the backstretch. He did a really nice job to hang on to that machine. Keeps it going straight. Pretty good amount of damage though.
Yeah, props to Bell. Great driving.
Prad's on pit road as well. I don't know if you said that, Corey.
Tried going back a little ways to see the incident with Matthew Bell, but we did miss it, unfortunately. So
Prad came down pit road a lap before Hartz did. So he should pass him.
Yeah, right now, let's try to see where everybody is, as Massey has inherited the lead right now. We do know Nick Massey from his personality that we've seen in his driving style, his pit strategy. He usually stays out longer than anybody. So I do expect him to do that strategy. But right now, Ryan Hartz is exiting the pits right now. And who else are we following? Briar LaPrade as Hartz enters 3. LaPrade is in the center coming off turn number 4. That's about half a turn, which equates to, I believe, about 2.5 seconds on the stopwatch.
And Begunia is now ahead of LaPrade.
But by absolutely no margin, as there's a 6-lap tire differential in the favor of LaPrade, so that will obviously help the 14 in his case out right now, as he very easily passes Begunia. So right now, guys, we have, I believe it is 9 drivers have yet to pit. That is Massey, that is Joshua Adams, that is Shane Tarrin. We have Thomas Bresci, we have Baron Labosco, we have Tyler Hensley, and Rusty Capel. And I believe actually
Zach Collision as well.
Zach Collision has stayed out, and Ronald Head in the 21 is on pit road. So let's just think about it from this perspective, guys. If for the drivers, especially who pit on lap 30, 35, that's going to be almost a 4-stop race. So if, let's say Massey, maybe he could stretch it till 60 or maybe 50. He might be able to do a 2 or 3 stop race. Actually, I don't think he could do a 2-stop race, but definitely 3. So he definitely could cut out a pit stop. It's just a matter of will the tire wear be his benefit or be his demise.
Yeah, taking a pit stop out of that's 12 seconds that you just took out of your time there. So
12 seconds, but also the entire distance of pit road going 35 miles an hour.
It's
yeah,
more
absolutely.
like around 40, about 50 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point, guys. You know,
Which that's about about 2 laps.
Oh, somebody. Well, I saw somebody nearly hit the pit lane. Oh, struggle on pit lane there.
Joshua Adams, he just about hit the pit barrels.
Yeah, I think we can go back and catch that because I saw someone absolutely struggling to get that thing mowed down. We talked about
Joshua Adams in that Eagles machine. Go Eagles.
As you can see here, he decided to pit very late, and
will he get a penalty because of how he entered pit road? I don't know if Iverson has that.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the commitment cone at the same spot on the racetrack or coded in the same way, but he would definitely have not made it in the real world, but I think the iRacing officials will let it slide.
It does not look like it. He is still on pit road after dropping the left side jacks.
Yeah, so perhaps the iRacing officials were not on the favor of him. I'd assume that it was a commitment cone violation.
White flag for the stage.
And that is Nick Massey. He is not in the playoffs, but he will take this point as he navigates himself through 3 and 4. He has a 7.5 second lead over second place Tyler Hensley, but remember, this is not going to throw to caution. This is just 4 points.
So Nick Massey will win the stage.
And we still have a couple drivers. We have Massey, we have Hensley, we have Aaron Labosco. 3 drivers have yet to pit. The other driver that did have just stayed out. Oh, here comes Massey down pit lane. I'll even stop my stop because I was losing it. Here comes Massey down pit lane. And Tyler Hensley on the same lap will come to pit lane. And Labosco looks like he's out of fuel. Aaron Labosco ran out of fuel and had to get the tow to take to pit road.
wow, really tough ring for Labosco.
He started sputtering on the front stretch, so he just missed his opportunity to get down to pit road. That's pretty much the worst spot you can run out of fuel.
How did he run out and everybody else had enough? It was maybe this driving style?
Possibly.
So that gives us the exact number right there. 50 to 51 laps is the absolute maximum. So that on pure mathematics, 50-100, they can do this on a 2-stop race. That makes that answer definite. It's just the question is that going to be the winning strategy? As Jacob Adams is now in the lead right now, but he has 10 extra.
Pratt is all over him, and Pratt's running about a half second quicker each lap.
Yeah, Evan. Jacob Adams has 9 laps extra on those tires, and we know how drastic that is going to be on the stopwatch, and you can just see it in reality. We don't even need the stopwatch. Last time by, a 25.7 for the 8 and a 25.2.
Oh, the 8 pitching the 14 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Almost didn't work out well for either of those drivers. Briar LaPrade retakes the lead. Now you see Labosco coming out of pit road. So back to the lead is the 14 of LaPrade. Adams is chilling back there in the 2nd position right now.
Now remember the guys that LaPrade was driving around, especially Ryan Hartz. Ryan Hartz, you can see him coming off turn 4 right now. It's 2.3 second deficit that the 03 has to overcome, and he also has to get by Thomas and Adams. But Walker Thomas in the 12 is on the same strategy, so he just lost that position naturally over the course of pit stops.
Here comes Walker Thomas in the 12 taking the 2nd position, and the other Adams brother in the 88 machine taking another position away. Now the 88 looking underneath the 12 machine. That was almost contact down into the corner. Very, very close racing tonight, I've noticed.
Yes, these drivers are really going for every single position. As the number 88, remember he had that penalty on a commitment cone violation, we assume it to be. He is now a lap down, so he has to get himself through the field as fast as possible. That'll also negate his entire strategy, so his entire race is thrown upside down. He's going to need a yellow to get back on the same playing field.
So Josh Adams making his way back up through the field here, or I thought he was.
So now,
he's a lap down.
So now it's a 1.6 second lead for LaPrade over Thomas. Let's bring up for the first time tonight the primetime battle tracker. We can see this gap in how it is progressing. 25.52 for LaPrade to a 25.49 for Thomas. So Thomas was just a skosh faster that last time by, but it's not really showing too much on the interval.
I'm looking at Joshua Adams, and he's run just about as high as I've seen anyone. He was right up against the wall in 1 and 2.
Now Josh Adams back there in the 15th position right now. He is 1 lap down, trying to get his lap back.
Yeah, him and Rusty Capel both got penalties during those pit stops.
Yeah, we're on board with the 88, trying to see that line, and as you guys said, he is... You can see we've already moved the line out probably about a groove on the high side, and he was even a lane above that. See through 1 and 2, only about 10 feet or so off the wall, so he's really searching for that grip. Shane Tarrant is in a battle with, who is that? Tanner Allen, as they try to navigate around a slower car. That causes Tanner Allen to back off, as it's the 22 machine of Zach Collision. Ended up costing Tanner Allen the position, as he had to slow down and get out of the way.
Collision's been having a rough night so far.
Trying so hard not to use the pun.
No, he has been having a rough night though. That race car not really working well with him right now.
We'll follow for a second. Couple of drivers we haven't shown tonight on the air too much. We have Ronald Head in the 21 versus Casey Shue. Head just passed Shue, but right now Shue has been on the circuit for 31 laps on that set of tires, so he obviously pitted really early. That strategy doesn't seem to be working out too well for him. But guys, we just talked about the battle tracker. It was a 1.6 second lead that LaPrade shared over Hartz, and I'll tell you, it's been cut in half.
Hartz has 1 lap fresher tires. I don't know if that's helping much, or if it just he's that much faster.
Yeah, I can't imagine 1 lap meaning that much. Maybe 3 or 4 would kind of mean a couple tenths, but I think it's just the natural pace of that 03 machine is coming to light right now.
I would like to point out that Adams just got his lap back from LaPrade.
So this is, the 88 needs a yellow, and he needs it before the next set of pit stops. That is the only real saving grace for that 88 of Joshua Adams, who is a playoff driver. And he did not have a great run at Watkins Glen last week, so he needs a good run tonight, and it isn't really on the cards for him, at least as of now.
But we're not even halfway yet. A lot can change.
It will be there in a matter of laps, but right now, Ryan Hartz, it was a 7/10 lead, and I'll tell you, it's already shrunk below that, so we're going to have a battle for the lead, guys.
0.3 of a second now through turns number 3 and 4. Hartz getting a really good run out 4 down the front stretch. Got it down to about 1/10.5 now.
But we know catching him is one thing, passing him is another. We know how hard it is to pass here at Dover. So let's see how wide that number 14 machine is going to be if he pinches him down, making that inside really difficult to maneuver. But we will be hitting some traffic not too far into the future.
So we're traffic coming from behind them.
Yeah, I was going to say, not to mention Labasco coming to try to take his lap back. Now Hartz diving underneath the 14 machine of LaPrade down into turn number 1. They're going to be side by side heading onto the back straightaway.
Hartz getting a little loose down on the bottom. It will allow LaPrade to clear, and now Labasco is trying to get by him.
Yeah, Labasco doesn't want to get in the mix and ruin the battle for the lead or wreck anybody, but he wants to get this lap back, so he's kind of in between a rock and a hard place right now. You don't want to be that guy, but you still have to run your race, and he needs to get by these drivers.
Hartz fell back from the leader just a little bit that time by, but heading down the back straightaway, more momentum than LaPrade. Hartz trying to use that 1 lap fresher tires to his advantage. And we know that Hartz early on in this race was a bit faster than LaPrade.
And I'll tell you guys, Walker Thomas is not too far behind this. He's only about 1 1/3 seconds behind, and let's pull up the lap times right now. He was definitely faster than LaPrade by a little bit. So that 12 machine, don't count him out.
And he is on the exact same tires as LaPrade. LaPrade getting really loose out of 4. Ryan Hart's looking to the inside, down the front straightaway.
Hartz dives into the inside, down into turn number 1 this time. They both drift up the track a little bit. Hartz trying to dive into the corner, trying to get the momentum down off of turn number 2.
Big wiggle from LaPrade.
Wow. Hartz looks like he might be cleared down into turn number 3. LaPrade still trying to fight back down off of turn number 4. Hartz is going to have to lead this time. And LaPrade, big save down off of turn number 4.
He gave it everything he had, and he definitely got that right rear tire upset. And he's going to have to get that thing calmed down, calm himself down, get back into a groove, and let's see how far Ryan Hartz pulls away.
Casey Shue coming on the pit road. And just passed halfway here.
Remember, Casey Shue pitted about 20 laps, well, 15 laps or so before anybody else. So this is about 40 laps into the run for Shue. And everybody else is about 30 or so laps into their run. So let's see how far these drivers stretch this second pit stop.
Cole Begunia is on pit road, as well as Matthew Bell.
Begunia was running in about the 10th position, so again, this is not what some of these big-time drivers need for their playoff and championship endeavors with their runs last week at Watkins Glen. And also a note for the future of the playoffs in the league is we are not done with road course races in the Contender Series.
Yeah, I believe we have one more. Yeah, Mid-Ohio. I'm not sure when that is.
I will find that information out right now.
I'll beat you to it.
Right now we are on. We are obviously at Dover. Next week is Charlotte.
So 3 more races.
Yep. The Charlotte is the next race in the round, the final race in the round. Then we will eliminate down to 8 drivers for Kentucky, Mid-Ohio, and Pocono for the round of 8. And then we will go down to 4 drivers for the championship race at Homestead on February 28th. But that's a pretty difficult round 2, guys. Kentucky, Mid-Ohio, and Pocono.
Jacob Adams is now pulling out of pit road. So that, not sure how many laps he had on his tires. I believe around 35 or so.
So right now, guys, we're at 64 laps to go. We know you can go 50 laps on a tank. What does Ryan Hartz do right now? Does he stretch it 15 more laps, go to lap 90, and then call it a race?
I don't know. It's with the tire drop-off, it's going to be really hard to figure out. It looks like quite a few drivers are still planning on making 2 more pit stops.
Yeah, Patrick McLaren is the first driver right now. He's in the 9th spot. He's the first one that has made a second pit stop, and he will have to make another one from here. So he may short run this second stint, maybe go to about lap 100, 110, and then just split the difference there. But if you're going to do that strategy, you have to pit now. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck running it out to a final fuel run.
Yeah, because you have to have those tires long enough to be able to use them.
So Patrick McLaren, if everybody else is kind of following that same suit, he may be in a pretty good position. We also have to note for Nick Massey. Massey in the 48, he has 10 laps less on his tires than Hartz, LaPrade, and Thomas do. So how does he want to use that extra 10 laps? He is only, about 7 seconds behind, and he is running
2 tenths quicker.
So so how does he want to use that tire advantage? .60 laps to go as we hit the stripe for Ryan Hartz, who is now 2.5 seconds ahead over Briar LaPrade. See Patrick McLaurin, we just spoke about him. He already pitted for the second time. He'll have another pit stop in his race tonight. He is now getting himself back onto the lead lap. Jacob Adams right behind the number 03 as well in the same position, trying to get back on the lead lap. He needs to be careful with the leader, as also Cole Begunia in the same boat. Cole Begunia is actually 2 laps down right now, as well as Jacob Adams, rather. Actually, for that matter, I believe Patrick McLaurin is a lap down still. We'll check when the scoring loop clears by next time by the stripe. Yeah, McLaurin actually is the first car 1 lap down right now. But just the nature of the Dover International Speedway is that as slow as the pit lane is, you do, I believe, lose 2 laps under green. So that is normal. You're in the pits for about 50 seconds, and 2 laps around this track is 50 seconds. So there's 2 laps right there. So it'll be interesting to see if there is no yellow flag. It's going to be very interesting to see how these strategies collide and which one is going to be the money one.
Walker Thomas is just about to get around the 14 oval crowd now.
Remember, these drivers were only about a second or so behind Hartz not too long ago, but they have now dropped nearly 4 seconds off of the 03's bumper.
One thing I'd like to quickly point out, guys, look at how much this track has rubbered in, and look at how much it's changed the way that this racing has been.
Yeah, the iRacing dynamic track, something we bring up almost on every single broadcast we do, because it does really come into effect the way you'd expect it to in real life. The track heats up, the track rubbers up, and when it does, that main line loses grip, and you're going to have to search around, trying to find where the fast laner is around the speedway.
Ryan Hart's up here trying to get around the lap car of Tanner Allen now. We saw Tanner Allen up front for the first part of this race.
Allen has already pitted, so he just unlapped himself, or got 1 lap back.
No, good catch up.
So now Cole Begunia, who has navigated by Patrick McLaurin, is now the first driver on the 2-stop strategy. They are navigating out of turn number 4. But look at this, guys. This is 54 laps to go. Adam, did he make the cone there or not? I'm
pretty sure he did, but he had to lock up the rear to do it.
But this is 54 coming to 53 to go. We saw, who was it? Somebody. Labosco ran out of fuel on lap 51. So can he make this? And is he going to have to whoa up the pace to do so?
Unless these guys are planning on short pitting again anyways.
I think with the position Hartz is in now, he's either going to have to pit 1 more time or he's not going to win this race.
Because 225 lap stints.
If he has to back this down, then he's going to lose the race.
Yeah, I think there is no other option, at least for the first part of the fields, than to pit again. Because here comes LaPrade down pit road now, and almost gets rear-ended by Tarrant. He drifted up back onto the racetrack for a brief moment.
And the more laps that they stay out, as from what we base our knowledge off of with Labosco, we know about 50 laps is the cutoff for fuel, at least we do believe. So these drivers who stay out a couple laps further just kind of set the bed that it's definitely going to be a 1-stop race, but I just can't see 225 lap stints working out on the stopwatch.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to do a 1-stop race, which means they would have to go about 2 more laps than what they did. So I really don't think there's any way that Hartz and LaPrade can make it.
But Nick Massey, as we said, he is always the driver to stay out the additional times around. He is doing exactly that, and we are at 50 to go. We're at 49 to go, but Massey still has about 10 laps left in that tank, so he has no worries at all. But how is he going to want to stay out that whole 10 laps?
Oh, Ronald Head probably just got really loose out of 4. That was almost a wreck.
A little bit of a scare there, and still not able to get by Ronald Head. Ronald Head has a lot fresher tires in the 48, but looks like he will finally clear and start pulling away. So if I was Massey, and I mean, we all know what kind of crew chief I am. If I was Massey, I would pit, once I know that I'm in the window, I'd probably pit with like no more than 45 to go. I don't want to sit here and waste tires that I don't need to waste, and waste time that I don't need to waste.
Yeah, I think he needs to pit right now, come get those 4 fresh tires, and he'll be able to make it to the end.
Because right now, Ryan Hartz is showing 1 lap down, and he is exiting turn number 2 right now. He is the first car off the lead lap. Nick Massey is entering turn 1 right now, so that's, what is that, about a lap and just a little bit, maybe a lap and a third. But obviously, obviously Hartz will get there in no time with the speed he has on those fresh tires. But remember, he has to pit again, or we assume he has to pit again.
I really don't see any way they can make it because of what we saw with Bobasco, him running out of fuel on lap 50.
Shane Tarrant in the 38, he's only a second, 1.3 seconds behind Massey right now.
And here he comes to pit road with 47 laps on this stint.
And very aggressive to the cone, but I think he made it, so that was a good entry there for Tarrant. Thomas Bressi, we haven't talked about him all night, as he is now in second, and he is at the end of his fuel window. He will need to come in any time now. We'll see what Massey decides to do. It looks like Massey's coming this time by.
He can make it from here.
He can make it here rather comfortably. This gives the lead to TB, number 24. Remember the road course king swept both races at Watkins Glen last week. It's his first lap lead of the race. Hasn't really been a race to speak too much about for Bressi.
Hart's unlapping himself now.
We do have a little backstory on Bressi, which we know may be leading to his performance issues tonight as he comes to pit road. We know that in the sim racing world, there's a virtual reality. The Oculus Rift is a big thing, and Bressi is one of those drivers in VR. Evan and I are also in that crowd ourselves. He is not racing in his virtual reality tonight, and he has told us ahead of time it is really throwing him off, and I wonder why he's not himself tonight.
Yeah, I would say that is most definitely affecting his performance.
You're used to a certain condition. You're used to the feeling of being in that virtual cockpit. It's a lot different sensation when you're racing the traditional way at a monitor, but he's in the pits, and now Ryan Hartz has re-inherited the lead.
That's always something I've wanted to do is VR.
It is something that's hard to find. You have to get to maybe your local Best Buy, or maybe see if you have a friend who's in the realm of traveling. It's not too far out, get a chance at it, but if you do get it, it is a game-breaking experience, at least in my opinion.
Brandon, just drive 20 hours, come down to me.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it's only 3.5 up here. As Bressi is exiting the pit lane and merges right behind Hartz. Bressi is, I believe, shown 1 lap down, so he will get that back immediately.
Yeah, Bressi should be back on the lead lap right now.
And Bressi, and this is just kind of give us a little perspective, guys. He's on the lead lap, and he doesn't need to pit. So under the assumption that Hartz is A, going to have to pit, or B is going to have to whoa the pace down, Bressi should be able to gain a significant amount of time, and we know Bressi wasn't even up there to begin with.
Yeah, but Massey, he's in 9th right now. He is ahead of Bressi on the lead lap, and he does not need to pit either.
Yeah, Massey is 12 seconds behind your leader right now. 12.8 to be exact, and he is running, let's see, last time by for Massey was I can get my graphics right here. Last time for Massey was a 25.1. Ryan Hartz 25.3, so it actually was only about 0.2. So that, by that logic, it's not, that gap's not going to deteriorate as fast as we thought. So from Massey's perspective, it's going to be all about, does Hartz need to pit again? Jacob Adams
Yeah,
in second.
absolutely.
Jacob Adams in second. He's 30 laps in his run. He most certainly needs to pit, so he's not in the realm for talking about the end of the race for the top 5. But Walker, Thomas, and LaPrade, they pitted a few laps after Hart, so we believe that they'll have a little bit more wiggle room in the fuel cell. And Begunia is in 5th. He is in the same boat as Adams. He is praying dearly for a caution flag. It's the only way that'll save Begunia's race. So we're 104 laps into this race, and we have another fuel mileage and pit strategy thriller, what looks like to be on our hands tonight. Right now we have Ryan Hartz is your leader. He has led 37 laps around this speedway. We have Briar LaPrade in second, who has led 44 laps. Both of these drivers, we're assuming, can stay out. We're not quite sure about Hart. We do know LaPrade should not have to pit. We have some drivers with fresher tires running behind. We have not had a yellow flag tonight. Completely clean and green for these 105 laps, and 10 lead changes thus far tonight.
And Begunia is on pit road.
That'll leave
Cole Begunia in the 7 machine.
Yeah, he did not get that yellow flag he needed, so he will get the fresh tires, and he'll have 34 laps to gain as much time back as he can. Ryan Hartz clicks off another lap, and we can let you know the gap to Briar LaPrade is 7.2 seconds right now. So if Hartz has any fuel concerns, he can just back off and let it ride, because he does not have any immediate concerns. And Massey has only taken off about 1.5 seconds since last time we've assessed that gap.
Massey is still running, or not Massey, Hartz is still running about a tenth to 2 tenths quicker than LaPrade. So like you're saying, Corey, if he has any fuel concerns, just back it off.
But while we have a little bit of a moment to chat, we do want to quickly bring up our NASCAR night here on PTR TV that will be hosted and powered by the Hardline Racing League. We want to thank Cody Tabor for his assistance in bringing this on. We have at the moment 5 real-life drivers / NASCAR affiliated staff and personnel that will be racing with us at Charlotte for 70 laps in a fixed setup Xfinity Series race. And we have at the moment 35 league drivers here on PTR TV fighting for what should be about 25 spots. So it is going to be a very interesting race. The prize fund is over $100 right now and growing, and there are plenty of other prizes being worked on. So it's going to be a heck of a night here on PTR TV. We're going to get this race showcased as much as possible. So if you're a league driver, join it. If you're a fan of the channel, just be ready for February 8th at 9 o'clock. We're going to have the biggest night in PTR TV history.
Yeah, it'll really be a good show. And, you know, if you're in any of the leagues that we cover, come on down. Go to our Facebook. We got a sign up sheet right on there. And try to qualify your way in. And, you know, you could be racing with some of the stars of NASCAR.
We have about 3 or 4 Xfinity drivers, K&N Pro driver, and there are a couple surprises we're talking to, and a couple other ones we may be able to pull out of the bag. And we do have a battle for 4th position, rather 3rd position. Shane Taryn has got by Nick Massey here. So Taryn will be the first driver on the fresher tires with the definitive fuel load. So let's see here, that gap is 9 seconds, and it's only, for that matter, Taryn's only 1.3 seconds behind LaPrade, but Massey's not done with Shane Taryn. Almost some contact there off turn number 2.
Yeah, Massey gave Taryn a little bit Public bump down the front straightaway to let him know that he wants by. The Terran is not going to give up yet.
Massey dives it on the bottom there, kind of washed him up the track just a little bit. 95 Matthew Bell, he was up front for a good portion of the race. He's off the lead lap now. That's not for position, but Terran still really working that bottom groove. Let's see what happens off 2.
38 machine down low. It looks like the 48 machine gonna prevail that time down the straightaway. Now heading into turn number 3. Matthew Bell wants a piece of the action.
Bell is 2 laps down in 11th. He just wants by to try to take advantage of the tires he has, but he doesn't.
Wow, chopped the nose of the 38, offered a lap car dope on the 48 machine for a lap car. I wouldn't be too happy about that if I'm on the lead lap.
Oh,
into the wall.
Wow, almost causes a wreck there, getting up on the outside wall.
As we said, Bell is on the extra stop strategy. He needs to gain as much time as fast as he can, but didn't want to get in the way too much of them, but looks like he may have incidentally, as Massey is ahead of Terran, but I don't think that's what Terran wants. I think Terran's faster, but just can't get by. And while these drivers duke it out for position number 3, you can see that white car in the distance. Briar LaPrade is not too far ahead, only about a second ahead of this battle, so we'll have a 3-way battle for second.
And they are running quite a bit quicker with about 7 laps less on their tires. Should be up there soon.
And all of this is going on 8 seconds behind Ryan Hartz. And we know Hartz is going to be stretching the fuel cell to the last drop. So if he is, as we said, concerned, he can really back it off and cruise. He doesn't need to push it. He'll be going 54 laps, which is much farther than we expect. As the battle for third, Terran just can't seem to do it. Kind of clipped the apron there. That'll cost him time down the back straightaway.
So guys, laps are starting to tick down here.
Only 20 to go. 21 at the line. It'll be 20 next time by for Ryan Hartz in the 0-3 as Cole Bagunia. Remember, he just pitted not too long ago. He is getting himself onto the lead lap. I don't know how much time he will be able to gain in relation in 20 laps, but he's going to be on a mission as best he can be.
Oh, the Briar LaPrade way down on the racetrack at that time. I thought he was going to get to the inside wall. Keeps it straight now, trying to defend his position from the 38 of Terran.
Not just Briar LaPrade, the Briar LaPrade.
The one and only.
Regardless of that, he drops to the 4th position now as those 2 drivers with the fresher tires get by. Joshua Adams, who is trying to get some time back as he's off the lead lap with his pit strategy. Trying to get by, dives to the inside. So I think it's kind of settled out, guys, what's going to happen. Right now, is Ryan Hartz backing off? Can he make it? He is leading by about 7.5 seconds. Massey and Terran, they're duking it out for second, and they're running, let's pull it up on the graphic here, they're running about half a second faster last time by than the 0-3 of Hartz.
Hartz going to pit road.
Oh, so there it is. No chance for him to make it.
I think this is going to cost him the race.
Remember Ryan Hartz last night in the ASRS race, if he caught it, he led a good portion of that race and unfortunately was not able to win it. Looks like it may be Dover deja vu for the 0-3, but this may be the battle for the win. The 48 of Massey and the 38 of Terran.
Shane Terran trying to gain the position away from Massey now. Shane Terran is in the 2nd position at the moment.
The only driver who is the closest driver who's on any kind of alternate strategy right now is Cole Bagunia.
Adams playing a little bit of an effect into this battle right now, trying to get his lap back.
Yeah, Bagunia, he is not going to get around this racetrack enough to really go for this win. And we do have LaPrade and Thomas in 3rd and 4th who will need to make another pit stop. So this is the battle for the win, guys.
Oh, Shane Terran on the outside wall. He got really loose down off the corner there, trying to save his race car. A little bit of tap to the wall doesn't seem to be affecting him too much.
Yeah, he didn't even lose any time off of that. As Massey has gotten a little bit, due to that incident, has gained about 4/10, nearly half a second lead. That Taryn will have to navigate back to and find a way by as 15 laps to go on the board. Taryn in the wall again.
Shane Taryn, he's either really tight or really loose. I can't quite tell. He's probably tight and putting so much wheel into it that as soon as he gets off the banking, it just kicks the back end out.
But for hitting the wall, he's really not losing any time.
Yeah, no.
He's using every inch of real estate off of turn number 2, and you can see as he goes into turn number 3, pretty much in the tire tracks of Massey, maybe a little bit higher. And we'll see if that higher groove gave him any kind of run on exit. It did not. Massey probably got a little bit of an advantage.
Coming up behind them will be Tanner Allen, who is on fresher tires. That could play into effect a little bit here as he tries to get by them.
Comers and goers of the race. Shane Taryn up 14 positions since the beginning of the race, so he is not the best of highest mover. That is actually Thomas Bressi in the 24, up 15 positions since the start of the race. Well, we've seen a lot of drivers getting themselves through the field here tonight. Good job by them. Remember, we haven't talked much about Bressi at all tonight, but methodically through his issue, he is in 4th. And I do believe he should be fine to make the rest of the race on fuel. Sometimes it's better to be, sometimes you got to be good, sometimes you got to be lucky, but sometimes you could be both in the same night. That's, I believe, what's happening for Bressi tonight.
I think LaPrade is going to try and make it on fuel. And he pitted around the same time that Hartz did.
Yeah, that'll be 52 laps for LaPrade. So if he backs it off enough, he will make it by just about nothing. But here comes Taryn. He's made some time up. He's right to the bumper of Massey as they navigate by Rusty Capel, the slower car.
Taryn getting a little loose out of turn number 2.
He doesn't lose too much time. Now heading down into turn number 3. I move all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack from the 38 machine up against the 48. 48 trying to defend the lead right now. Nick Massey in that first position. Shane Taryn is sitting there in second.
I think Massey's going to try to use the outside for his defense and make the 38 get bogged down and really struggle on the inside groove. He's going to have to do it for about 8.5 more laps.
I would like to point out that neither one of these drivers are playoff drivers, guys.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brandon. The first playoff driver is Briar LaPrade back in 3rd.
Taryn is someone that we always see up front, but obviously the playoffs did, well, the playoffs did not work out for him, but I do expect him to be battling for these races for the remainder of the season. And he is going for this win, trying to play spoiler. But
Shane Taryn, I thought, sorry to cut you off, Corey, I thought Shane Taryn would have had an opportunity to lead that time, lost a little bit of momentum off the corner. Now trying to play catch-up again.
Massey to the wall a little bit.
Good opportunity, Shane Taryn right back to the back bumper of the 48 machine this time by now on a turn number 2, seeing if he can get the momentum for the bottom.
Those drivers a little bit loose out too.
As the 5 of Tyler Hensley high and out of the way, but it looks like that may, nope, he checked up. I thought that was going to affect Taryn in a negative way, but we carry on. It'll be 6 laps to go.
This is the battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. The 48 of Nick Massey versus the 38 of Shane Taryn. First and second, neither one of these drivers are playoff drivers. First playoff driver back, as Evan said, is Briar LaPrade back there into the 3rd position.
Coming to 5 laps here now. The lead has kind of stabilized for Massey with Taryn right back there. Taryn has tried a few times, but he just can't get around him.
Trying to dive in the corner a little bit better than Nick Massey. Shane Taryn got a run down out of turn number 2 that time. Tyler Hensley behind them into the wall. He keeps it straight.
The laps tick away, and what is the 38 going to do? Is he going to get overly aggressive? Does he have something in his back pocket? Can he keep it off the wall? He lost some time off before with that big wiggle.
The good thing
No, go ahead, Evan.
The good thing about these drivers not being in the playoffs is they really don't have to care about ruining each other's races too much. Yeah, you don't want to wreck someone, but at least it's not going to have the implications of ruining their playoffs.
Very fair point. You're not going to have championship implications. You're not going to have too much of a grudge behind it. You're all in it for fun at this point, as there's 3 to go, and I'll tell you, Taryn's lost a little bit of time. He's going to have to gain it back in a hurry.
Nick Massey trying so hard to not make any mistakes right now. Shane Taryn has made a couple. I believe that's really the only reason why he hasn't been able to take the lead so far.
2 laps to go as we come off of turn number 4. You can see Taryn running that bottom groove, took a good chunk out of the gap, and he didn't even lose it on corner exit. Let's see what happens at turn number 1.
Drifts up just a little bit, trying to diamond the corner. Drove it in deep down into turn number 1. Now off of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway. Able to stay with the 48 machine. Coming off of turn number 4, they're going to get the white flag, this time by 1 lap to go. Big
wiggle from the 48. That's going to cut some of the gap away for the 38 as we go through turns number 1 and 2.
Taryn getting a really good run out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway, get by a lap car of Walker Thomas. He's going to have a really good dive down into turn number 3. Can't do anything quite yet. It looks like Massey will get this one.
Off of turn number 4, the 48 machine, Nick Massey. Taryn with a big slide. Nick Massey will win at Dover International Speedway here tonight with the Hardline Racing League Contender Series.
Wow, a thrilling race, a hard-fought, clean battle from Massey and Taryn there. Applaud to both of those drivers, but especially to Nick Massey for pulling that one out on the pit strategy call. So we congratulate the 48 for his win, and give us a second here. We'll go to a quick side-by-side commercial break, and we'll be back for post-race interviews, so stay with us.
Red Bull GRC is now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
And we're back here on PTR TV for the post-race show. We have gathered your top 3 finishers out of the car, and we will talk to them for post-race interviews. So Evan will talk to 3rd place finisher, Brian LaPrade.
So, Brian LaPrade, you come home with a 3rd place finish. What are your thoughts after tonight's race?
Yeah, it was, for me, it was a fun race, running up front, all over the place, pretty much. Wish we could have took that fuel run, the first fuel run, all the way to the end there. That probably would have helped us with battling for the win there at the end. But unfortunately, we pitted early, thinking it wasn't going to run all the way to the end. But it did, which cost us. But yeah, thanks to my crew chief, Dylan McNichol. You guys probably know him by now. Yeah, he helped me through that, crew chiefing.
How does it feel to be the highest finishing playoff driver going into the final race?
I didn't know that, actually. That's pretty good. Charlotte, pretty sure Charlotte's next week. A good track of mine. Should make it to the next round easy. Just no mistakes.
What did you think of that long green flag run? Were you hoping for a caution, or what was your mindset?
Yeah, I was definitely hoping for a caution there. The last run, I pitted on like lap 90-ish, and the fuel run was like 48 to 50 laps. So I wasn't even running full throttled on the straightaways. It's probably why I lost so much time to them. And yeah, if I pushed it, I wouldn't have made it on fuel. So I had to stay about half throttle on the straightaways.
All right. Well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yep, here for the Beam Squad, of course, and then Cole Bagunia, thanks for blocking me on the inside there in the middle of the run when you're on old tires for no reason. Don't understand that. And honorable mention, ADF.
All right, congrats on your 3rd place finish, and thanks for talking with us.
Yep.
Now, Corey will talk to 2nd place finisher, Shane Taryn.
All right, Shane, a 2nd place finish here tonight, and you gave it your all. You had a couple shots at Massey, a couple side-by-side opportunities, but you just couldn't make it work there on the inside. Talk about that entire green flag race in that last battle.
Man, that is the most fun I've had this racetrack. That was great. Yeah, I didn't even expect to be up there for the win, because I didn't know what these guys were doing pit strategy-wise, because I guess they're banking on a caution, but if you go, this was easily a 2-stop race, so me and Nick took advantage of it, and it worked out. But man, he was on fresher tires than me, and he was working the outside, and I don't know what I figured out, but I figured out something on the inside there at the end, and I just couldn't get to him. I wanted to give him the bumper really bad, but he is my teammate, so I kind of want to try and earn it the right way.
Yeah, very reputable mindset there. But talk about, like I said, the green flag strategy in the pits. We saw a lot of different people pitting on different cycles, stretching the tires, stretching the fuel at different lengths. Did you have any kind of green flag mindset for this race, or did that kind of catch you off guard?
I was just going to stick with my pit every 45 laps the first run. I would pit on lap 46, I think, and then try and get to 50 laps the 2nd run, so I can have fresh enough tires to, run with Nick. And it really played out. I just didn't know. I wasn't expecting only 2 of us to be on that strategy, because it was the most obvious strategy to work with, was cut this race into 2 stops. So I was really surprised by that. I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, it caught everyone else off guard as well, and it worked out for you, nearly pulling off the W tonight. So who do you want to give your shout-outs to?
Definitely want to give a shout-out to Nick. It's every time me and him race together, it's great. So it was really good to race for a win with him. Give a shout-out to my teammates, Walker, Jake, and Josh, and then good friend Robert that raced tonight.
All right, thanks for that, Shane. Congrats on the finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week or Friday night.
All right, thank you.
All right, and now Brandon will talk to the victor tonight, Nick Massey in the 48.
He's out of the race car now. Your winner here at Dover National Speedway, driver the number 48 machine, Nick Massey. Nick, you had a hell of a run tonight, man. Tell us how you feel right now.
Pretty awesome, first win in a while, first win in Hardline, so hopefully I can carry this, hopefully into Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. It came down to a nail-biting race there at the end between you and Shane Taryn there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were both on the same pit strategy, and I knew coming out of the pits the last time, I knew the guys in front of us probably couldn't make it on gas unless I saved a lot. He pitted a lap before me, I came out a second behind him, and I knew that was going to be the race for the win if there was no caution. And we ran each other hard, and appreciate him running it clean too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of no cautions, we went from green to checker all the way through this race without a caution. Tell us a little bit about your strategy.
Yeah, I didn't qualify that well. I messed up coming out of 4 on my first lap. I scraped the wall a little bit, didn't count, so I started kind of mid-pack. And yeah, I figured I'd try to go for the stage win, even though I'm not in the chase or anything. Me and Shane played the same strategy. I knew you can go 50, 51 laps on gas. And it just happened it went green, and we were able to make it past 90 and make it on a 2-stop race. So it kind of worked out. You're kind of surprised because we kind of thinking a caution was going to come out there. Usually that's what happens when you're in a good position to win. Seems that always comes out, but it worked out.
Yeah, worked out indeed, and you come home with a victory here tonight. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank and give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank my teammate Shane for making that last run a lot of fun. My other teammates Josh and Jake. Other teammate Chris, who couldn't make it tonight, but thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Hopefully it was hopefully it made it fun to watch there towards the end.
Absolutely it did. Coming home with a victory here tonight at Dover National Speedway, driver the number 48, Nick Massey.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so that is the interviews here tonight for the Hardline playoff race here at the Dover International Speedway. So let's wrap up tonight's coverage with the final results. With the victory tonight, as we just spoke to, was the 48 of Nick Massey, and then in second position we had Shane Tarrant, and then Brian LaPrade, Thomas Bressie, and Walker Thomas the top 5, and then Tyler Hensley, Josh Adams, Ryan Hartz, Jacob Adams, and Cole Begunia, your top 10.
And Matthew Bell finishing 11th, Tanner Allen in 12th, Ronald Head in 13th, Casey Schoen 14th, Brandon Bosco in 15th, and then Rusty Capel, Patrick McClure, Robert F. Kinney, Zach Collision, Kyle Zimmer, and Jonathan Wall rounding out the top 21 in the field.
So that is your finishing results here tonight from Dover. Quick shout out to our channel sponsors as always. Movement Fabrications, their family-run business, is formally established in 2012. With over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry, we offer a wide range of services. This includes ducting, ventilation, extraction, and canopies. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Movement Fabrications is a ventilation service to trust. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is a motorsports design specialist. Also, iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's two main overlay systems, ATBO and IRTBO. If you're a broadcast company looking to make your channel shine with custom overlays, talk to Jason Allison with iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon. To keep broadcast quality high and cost low for league owners, we need a little help from the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PCRTV. If you become a Patreon, you'll get rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. Become a Patreon at patreon.com/PCRTV.
And of course, we want to give a shout out to those who have donated to the Patreon. They will be scrolling across the bottom of your screen as we speak. A couple of them are in this room, so we want to give a shout out to them. Also, a shout out to the cameras for tonight. That is by Track Cams for Gourmet. Talk to Estevan. You can check him out at facebook.com/trackcams if you want to have the views we had tonight here on our broadcast. And a final shout out for our NASCAR night on February 8th. 9 o'clock Eastern, brought to you in serious help by the Hardline Racing League. We want to give Cody Tabor a big shout out for that. We will have some real life drivers in the Xfinity Series, potentially some truck and a couple K&N drivers, so we're hoping to have as big of a real life field, and they will be racing the primetime racing driver community from all the leagues that we do cover, so that's going to be a heck of a night. A lot of prizes on the line, so stay tuned for that. Mark your calendars. Signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night.
We'll catch you next time.